Welcome to KNN for this week. We are back from Gen Con, a little exhausted.
A little bit.
Little bit, but not worth every tiredness, if that's a thing. It was a lot of fun. Super productive, I think, for us, and just met a lot of great people, saw a lot of great games. Super excited. I think it kind of reinvigorated our commitment to this.
Yes.
And our excitement for it. So what did you think? Initial take.
Okay, so anybody who's never been to Gen Con, it is the one word I use to describe Gen Con more than anything is overwhelming. Gen Con is an overwhelming experience. There's so many people, so many gamers and hobby enthusiasts that are just packed into this one place. And you just look around and there's people in costume everywhere. There's just people wearing all the geeky t-shirts. And you just know you're surrounded by people who share at least some degree of interest in this world that we live in, you know, with you. And it's just such a great experience and such a positive vibe overall. Like I would say 99.9% of the people you run into are awesome at Gen Con.
You're talking about the one guy that cut
that
in front
one
of
guy. The crowd is super polite, and like for me, this was my 8th Gen Con that I've been to. It's still just an awe-inspiring spectacle every time I go, and we spent most of our time in the exhibit hall where all the vendors are set up, all the game companies are set up, and they're showing off all the new stuff and. You get to meet artists and authors and designers and just talk to a lot of really cool people who are making a lot of really cool products. And like I think we spent 3 days just wandering that for the most part and still didn't see everything.
No, I don't think we got to every booth.
And that's what I mean by overwhelming, you know, in a good way.
Well, there was something like 513, I think, this year is what I read on the website.
Now this was your first IndieCon, right? First Indianapolis Con.
Yep.
So what was your takeaway?
It was big. I'm going to tell you, I was impressed with the city of Indianapolis itself.
Yes.
And how much they get behind. I mean, granted, it's 60,000 people. I think I read it brings like $65 million to the city or something like that. And I was impressed on how much they got behind the con and all of that. And again, I guess if it's bringing that kind of money, it's justifiable. But I went to a couple of cons in Anaheim. When they were flip-flopping or doing 2 a year, something. I can't remember how they did it. They did 2 different locations because it
was too hard for people to travel, they thought.
Yeah, sure. And it was still crowded. It was busy, but you didn't feel that in the city. Granted, Disneyland is right there, but you didn't feel the support that I saw at Indianapolis.
Oh yeah,
just a ton of people.
We went to a pub called Lockmiller's for dinner one night.
Yep.
And meeting with Aaron, who hopefully you're watching, Aaron. Who used to be one of our reps with Osmody. And he first time meeting him face to face, had dinner. It's a great little pub though, but Lockmiller's is I love the food was great, but their drink menu was like all gamer names on their drink menu, like Mana Potion and things like that. You know, it's just like it was just really cool. Like to see like this place that's normally kind of like your traditional Scottish pub. And they really like let their inner geek fly, and
it was a lot of fun. We bought their shirt too.
We bought their shirts because it had a dragon on it.
We'll have to wear it next week.
It was really neat. But yeah, the city gets really behind it. Everyone was super nice. We talked to a lot of game companies while we were out there, and the stuff that we were excited about did not let down, in my opinion. Pathfinder 2nd Edition dropped. Grabbed some books out there. I had Wayne Reynolds, the cover artist, sign my books. And
Wayne's super cool guy.
Wayne is a super
totally
cool guy.
Down to earth. You think the artists are going to be spiffy and spoofy and out there? That's what surprised me because when I've gone to Gen Con before, I've never gone to. I know Chaos likes the artist rows and everything, and I've never gone for that. I've gone and I've played games, and that was kind of the long and the short of it.
Yeah. And
we got to spend. I kind of followed you around, I think, more than anything, and it was a lot of fun to meet those guys and to look at the art, and talk to them and realize, whoa, these guys are like they're normal. They're not these. I don't know. You look at the Magic card. Wayne Reynolds does Magic card art, and I've looked at that before. And he does Liliana of the Veil, which is iconic. I don't know.
Well, he did the Origins.
Yeah,
ones.
he did the Origins ones.
Yep.
Liliana of the Veil, Steve Argyle, met him too. Very cool guy.
Yeah.
But they do these cards, and so I'm mixing them up together. But their artists are the same because they were both. I felt that way about Steve too. Totally just like they're normal.
Yeah.
These people are normal. They're not these guys. They don't live in a little cell where all they do is color and paint. And so I think that was a little eye-opening for me. Maybe that's my ignorance of the artistic world, but it was really cool to meet a lot of those artists.
Yeah, for me that's a lot of the fun is meeting the people who create the worlds we play in.
And they do, yeah. And Wayne does the Pathfinder art, those books were fantastic. The art was great.
His depiction of goblins changed goblins, and his depiction of gnomes. We had this conversation. Yeah. His depiction of gnomes changed gnomes for the gaming world, I think.
Yeah.
And because I don't like gnomes as a race in D&D normally. And when Pathfinder dropped, and his artwork depicting gnomes just put a fully different spin on it and just brought it to life in a different way. And we had that conversation with Wayne when we were there.
That was what was so cool. It's like, oh, we're just talking to you. It's cool.
Yeah,
you're the person who does that I look at every day, and
you talk to him about it, and then he'll tell you like
it was good.
Like, oh yeah, like this is why I did this, or this is like, and just hearing like what goes into it. Is really
I have to say what still struck me in the artist row as because I got the Liliana, and I'm gonna go to Steve now, Steve Argyle who did Liliana the Veil, and
does some awesome Star Wars stuff too.
Yeah, did his wife run the booth? Is that
I
who
don't
that
know
was?
if
Okay, I'm not gonna say his wife. So the young lady who ran his booth, super sweet and cool. There was a picture, and we bought the print. And the picture never struck with me when I looked at the card. It's in the clutches of Bolas.
Yeah, I saw the art though, and I'm like,
this. And you're like, that's a chroma.
This art is amazing. Like, we should get this print.
Well, yeah, and you said, oh, I want the achroma print. And the young lady at the booth said, oh, that's not an achroma print. That's in the clutches of Bolas. And then she proceeded to explain, and I've never really looked at a Magic card and said, oh, there's some real deep thought process in that card for the art anyway. I knew the art's beautiful and those kind of things, and I've always kind of reflected that. But she proceeded to explain this card, and I'm just like, oh, that's so devastating.
Explained the background and then how it correlates to the mechanics of the card and what the artist puts into making that come to life. And yeah, you're like sitting there like tearing up hearing the story of like what's
poor Achroma. Oh my goodness! And her things are falling off, and she can't protect the world anymore.
Her little symbols of valor in her halo are cracking and breaking.
And in the background, there's the scales, which I've never noticed being a layman.
They're super subtle
because Bolas has her wrapped in his scales, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And that's caused me to go through all my cards and go like, oh, I wonder, did they do that on this one? I know that doesn't happen on every card. But it was, I mean, you still get goosebumps from it as she explains it. So anyway, visiting the booth and realizing some of that was just some of the highlights.
Another one that stood out is Nen Chang is an artist. She does some stuff for like the Shinobi card game. And I love her art style.
Her art's super cool.
I have a bunch of stuff hanging on the wall. And she was just happy to hang out and talk about the art and the process.
And totally down to earth again.
Yeah.
And none of them are like, let me hide behind I'm an artist, so I'm up on a higher level.
I wouldn't say none of them, but the ones we really
ones we visited with, I didn't feel any of them weren't like that at all. Nen was like, just a normal person.
Yeah.
We could have gone to have a drink at the bar, and I would have felt
awesome.
right at home.
She's super
cool.
Vaughn was really cool. He's a new artist.
Oh, yeah.
He's his second year at the con, and I picked up some of his pieces. Just great sketches and stuff that he does. I love the style. I went over really well with my wife. She was really happy with the pieces I brought back from him too. So I'm always on a mission at Gen Con to bring back more art for our house, but it has to meet her seal of approval too. And everything I brought back did.
It was really good. But
so
let's move into
we actually played some games while we were there.
Yeah, and you don't usually do that.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not. I go to Gen Con to look at products, but I don't normally play games because there's so much to do. And that's my focus as someone who runs a local game store and now reports on a lot of this stuff too. Like I want to just be up to date, but we actually wanted to sit down and play some games and try some
That's one of my things when I go to Gen Con is I like to play the games, and especially the new ones that are out, so I know things ahead of people. I don't think we played a ton that were brand new, but
no.
just from a
We
rank and
watched a
file, and you can slam in here and disagree whenever
Sure.
you want. We watched a lot of games, so I'm going to kind of go backwards. I watched one of the games that a lot of people were saying was there was a lot of hype, and that's why the game was popular, was Wingspan.
Yep.
And I am hosed because I can't remember the producer, so I apologize for that. But we'll find that and get back to you on that. But Wingspan is a new board game. It's from the company that made Scythe, and I thought it would look really good. So as much as there was a lot of, it was sold out, so I didn't even get to get a copy of it, unfortunately.
Right.
And then as soon as
It's
I got
sold
back,
out
we called our
fast.
distributor, and he's like, "Oh, we haven't been able to get that game for a while." So it must be popular.
There's a lot of hype about the game right now.
But it's super cool. You
hard to
play
keep on the
birds.
shelf.
You deal with birds, and there's eggs on the board. And I didn't watch the whole thing, and we didn't get a chance to demo that one. But I did get to watch a demo, and just from watching it, I would say that was in my top 5, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So if you see one that's not in your top 5 that I say, then you can argue with me.
Sure.
So that's probably in my top 5. We'll actually mark 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
We'll mark 1 and 2. Another game that I saw played that I thought was really cool was had the dragon. I kissed it. It's the demon. I tried to kiss it. It was too good for me, I think
Cool
is
Mini
what
or
Matt
Not?
said.
It's the
Cool
company.
Mini or Not made it, and I'm not going to remember the name of the game, but it
It didn't
has.
stand out to me as much as it did to you. So
Yes, but I liked it. I thought the play. I only watched it again. We didn't get a chance to sit down and play this one. Cool Mini or Not had a very busy booth.
Yes.
But what I did like about their booth is you could play games like
Yep.
the whole time. I thought it was really cool. Fantasy Flight, the opposite of
They had
that.
that. They had it. We just didn't go to
We didn't go to that
It
section.
was across the
Okay.
aisle.
I didn't like the way Fantasy Flight did their sales
I agree.
with the menu.
They,
Anyway,
they gave you a menu and you walked. You stood
and it
in
was
line a
cool,
lot.
and I think that was going to be more.
There wasn't anything that was really
Streamlined,
exclusive to Gen Con, though.
But
Like,
that's
I
fine. I
there
still
wasn't
want to
anything
look
that
at your
was-
product. That's
yeah.
anyway. So that game and what am I thinking of? The robot guys.
Wow.
You
Rock'em
know it.
Sock'em Robots.
No. In that
That was
game.
there.
No, in that game. You had the demon side and the
And like the big mecha
The
type Gundam.
Gundam. Thank you.
Was it a Gundam game?
It was a Gundam. Yeah, Gundam was on one side and the
Okay.
demons were on the other. I looked at it for like 10 minutes. I thought the play was really cool. So I liked that game. We played Monster Apocalypse,
We played Monster Apocalypse.
which was pretty good. We're going to demo some of that on the show here,
Yes.
so we're kind of excited for that.
Yeah.
We only got to play a demo, and I think it's a game that plays, and actually I heard this a lot of Privateer Press games play better not as the demo.
Right.
And I think Monster Apocalypse is going to be one of those.
Right, the
where you have
demo got
two
the mechanics
monsters.
down.
Yeah, and
But
that
it
was
felt
nailed.
like the how to play booklet you get in the game is what we played through that taught the basics, but didn't really feel like the flavor of the game.
Right.
And
I think you lost a lot of the ability to strategize by
Yes.
having fewer models on
Yep.
the board, and so getting more. We're excited to actually check it
to
out
try it
and
out and
get the full version.
get the full resource management part of the game in. And I mean, the Privateer Press booth was really busy, and
Yeah.
and so
Well, they're nailing it. They got Oblivion coming out with the
Yep.
Infernals to kind of, I hope, jumpstart.
well, and we haven't
Machine
even
Hordes.
seen Crucible Guard either. Like,
Well, we
missed
haven't
that
looked at it
era.
because we missed it
Yeah.
when we were doing it.
And
But
so-
the good news I heard, and I will say this about Privateer, we were able to talk to Matt directly and Sherry, who's the president. We got to talk to them all directly, and they're very open and honest. And we're getting these rumors from 1 year, oh, they're not doing very well because they can't keep their stuff stocked. And Matt and Sherry both were like, dude, I got warehouses full of stuff.
Problems with the distributors.
So
not with
distribution
Privateer.
is the problem. So we're going direct with Privateer
Yep.
now. Totally stoked about that.
Yep.
We're gonna have a ton of their games.
It was like Matt Wilson we were talking to.
Yeah,
and
a whole
he's-
day dedicated on the show to their games.
Yep.
Looking forward
Yes.
to that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about that before we're done here. 'Cause
Yeah, we will. We'll get that. I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
We got a new lineup coming.
But that was super cool.
So anyway, Monster Apocalypse was a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool game.
I'm looking forward to playing full games of it. I'm looking forward to painting the models as always because that's what I do. And that leads us into then the next game. That was number 3 for you, right?
Yeah.
So
Three-ish.
game number 2. But before I show the box, I want to
Yeah.
lead in with this with a little quick story. So we were walking on the con, and a conversation that Denaknam and I had was that he never plays good guys in war games. He's always playing bad guys. Like he always picks the bad guys because they're cooler, and he just likes the look of them more. And so I kind of challenged him to play a good guy.
When I play them, they're the good guys.
That's what I say
Okay,
too.
just saying.
Well, that's what I say because the good guys always win, right? So I must be the good guys.
Well, let's see. That was a problem at Gen Con for you then.
Well, then you played the good guys that time.
Because the good guys always won.
You guys always win.
No, you beat me on one. Oh, you won.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
I won the other one.
Okay.
And anyway, we're walking around. We come across this booth, company we had never heard of before, called Parabellum Games, and they had a great staff. And this girl Fiona came over to us and started talking to us, asked if we want a demo game. We're like, sure, let's do it. We're here to try this out. And it was a very this is meant as a favorable comparison.
Okay.
It was a very old school Warhammer Fantasy-esque looking game. It was rank and file troops in a fantasy setting, but I'll say I think their models are about a 32 millimeter scale, heroic scale. They're bigger than Games Workshop or Privateer models overall, and they were all painted up. They had 3x3 or just over 3x3 boards set up, and
but it plays on a 4x4.
Yeah, and she explained to us that the demo is set up to be round 3. That they're kind of skipping. They want to get you right into the action of the game and playing the combat and see how the combat works out. And so we played the game, and Denactum took the good guys, and I played the bad guys, and he destroyed me in that game.
The demo was set up in my favor. I will say that.
It was, but it was still fun. It was really neat. We got to see the mechanics, and I fell in love with the game instantly. And mostly because of the initiative mechanic. Like that was like
it's
thing
totally
that really,
different.
Was really cool. But anyway, the game is called Conquest. Got the box art right there. Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings is the subtitle on it. And it comes with the 2 armies we played in the game. And it is a classic rank and file miniature fantasy war game. And it is a very ambitious launch for a new company. The company's out of Greece, but they said they're manufacturing everything in the U.S.
Parabellum is the company.
Yep, Parabellum is the company. They are so their initial box is, I want to say, $85 retail. It comes with 2 armies. One of the models that it comes with is a $50 model in the starter set. So the starter set's a great deal. Fast-paced, fun, plastic injection mold models, which is my favorite for types of models to work with. Good quality. I'm not going to say they're the absolute top notch, but they're good, especially for a starting company. Yeah. They are leagues ahead of a lot of game companies that
I was surprised to hear they were that new. I mean, the game launched the end of June, so I think we're a little behind on it maybe, but I think it got some traction. I saw a couple interviews with the Parabellum staff. We actually are going to have one as well. We talked to them, and they're going to come on the show. Yep. And have some, actually a lot of the guys are, but these guys especially, and we're totally stoked. We took a box home actually from Gen Con, and we're getting ready to start building. I did take the Knights. I don't know, I think they're called the Spires, the bad guys. I think they're called the Spires, and they're like a demon-esque,
very
demon-esque feel.
Yep.
Corrupted. Very cool. The cool thing I liked about the game is it shifted a lot of, I like the initiative, it's great, and none of the models start on the board. Yeah. They come out in initial
round
order.
1, you start putting your models onto the board.
So it's great in that way. That's a different setting.
Yep.
The other thing was the dice. They messed with my brain a little bit because you need low numbers.
Yeah, it's all D6
on
based.
D6s.
But you're looking for 1s and 2s.
I remember that one roll, and I'm like, yeah, I rolled all 5s and 6s. Why am I doing this? Anyway, and so it kind of messes with your brain a little bit, but kind of all the cooler for that, I would say. And again, we got to play it a little deeper because we've only played the demo.
But they're launching 2 more armies this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're going to have 4 armies by the end of the year.
There's pictures up on the website.
We have a review on our website already, too.
Well, brief review.
Yep. And I'll say this, so the initiative system, I'll talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
So when you play the game, every unit you include in your army has a card that's like a stat card. It's not like a collectible or anything like that. It's just a way to track all your stats and everything. But the initiative system is you take those cards and you build a deck out of it, and you pick the order that the cards go into the deck, and then you put it face down, and that is your initiative. Yeah. So when it's your turn, you flip over the top card and reveal what unit activates next. Yeah. And so you got to kind of like plan your activation ahead of time and plan how your units are going to move ahead of time. And I love games that do that. Like I'm still dying to play a game of Apocalypse because I love the order system. Any kind of order system like that, that just really is something I enjoy in those kind of games because it's just another level where you're trying to outplay your opponent. Yeah. And so anyway, I'm excited to get Conquest. I want to start building models for it. The reason I haven't started building models for it, however, is because of our number one game choice. And this is one we agreed on. We agreed on our number one and number two choices.
Were
the same.
Yeah.
And so number one.
So we got Riot Quest from Privateer Press, and I don't think we're trying to put them in the limelight, but they did come out with some great games.
Yeah.
This was one of them, and we were able to kind of fully demo this. We played with a couple of cool other guys, a father and son, on a 4-player game of this.
Yeah.
And again, this is like board game, Overwatch, League of Legends, a little bit with the gear system. I think more League of Legends combined with Underworlds a little bit. There's not too much of a card play. There's more of a loot play, but
it's a
lot of fun.
Board
yeah,
game.
It's a hex-based board. Though I see why you're going with that. But everything's more random. That you come out at random spots. You got 5 to 10 guys on a team, so it's a miniature game, but it's on a board.
Yeah.
And they come out randomly. You only have 4 on the board at a time, but you can use your bench throughout the game as your guys die off. And the purpose
and nobody
is
ever dies.
Yeah, they don't die. They go into the cooler or whatever, and you get them back.
And when they wake up, they go back on the bench. They can come back into the game.
And you get loot cards. That's your deck hand, and you upgrade your characters
you have
with
your
that,
Riot
deck.
You have your Riot deck, and you get 1 card in it for every hero you have in your squad. And then you that they require loot to activate.
Yeah.
And you get loot by whenever a model is eliminated on the board, it drops a loot. And then there's also treasure that spawns on the board that you can go and get. And sometimes it's trapped. Sometimes there's like an obstacle to get the treasure. But then you can activate these cards. And then you also when you're eliminating enemy models, they drop loot. But you also gain scrap cards, which are worth victory points.
Which
and
is how you win the game.
The goal is to get victory points. And then there's also always 2 bounties in play. And bounties are another way to get victory points as well. And we played a 4-player game with them instructing us on how to play the game. I think it lasted 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fast game.
Well, I think you cheated too, but I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, is that because I won?
That's because you won.
Okay.
It was over really quickly. I think your opponents, not including me because I know you always win, but I think the guys across the table were a little surprised how fast it went.
Yeah.
I got that feeling from them anyway. But I think mostly because they didn't have any victory points. I think the one guy got one or two at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was
great
fun
game.
though. Like
it was really fun.
The models are great.
Yeah.
I love Privateer's model. I've always said, okay, I know I've said some things because I don't like the materials they always use. I'm not a big fan of metal models. I'm not a big fan of resin models. I love plastic injection mold models. They're easy to clean. They're lightweight, which means they don't chip or have the paint rub off as easily. So they're easier to transport. But having said that, Privateer's aesthetic has always been one of my favorites. I love the look of their models. I bought their models before I ever played War Machine and Hordes just because I thought the models looked cool and I wanted to paint them. I still have the first War Machine model I've ever painted. I can't remember her name. She's a mercenary, but it was just like a steampunk gun mage, and I was just like, that is so cool looking. And so yeah, the reason I haven't done anything with Conquest yet is because we just got back Sunday. And we're still, jet lag's not the right term. Like con lag needs to be a term.
Yeah, it's more con lag.
I refer to it as con hangover.
I felt that last night.
You get the con hangover because you're like, I think we got like maybe 18 hours of sleep over 4 nights. Like we were just running a lot, doing a lot, working on the show a lot, working on how to.
Plus, you're on your feet all day.
Yeah, you're on your feet all day, and
which we don't usually do.
We're gamers. We're lazy. I work really hard to be lazy. And we, anyway, what I did yesterday is I built the models for Riot Quest. There's 11 models out for the game. The game isn't even launched yet, right? Like 2 more weeks.
No, the game's out September.
They had a
2
pre-release.
weeks on the game, and then the extra models, which they had at Gen Con, aren't
Another
out until
month.
the 17th of September.
So anyway, I built all the models yesterday. I primed them all this morning. I painted 2 of them today already, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm focusing because Riot Quest is our number 1. And I want to play it. Like I am hyped to play this game.
It looks great. Or it is great.
Yeah.
Actually, we played it. So it doesn't look great. It looks great.
Yeah, I'm actually after the show tonight. I think we're getting a game or 2 in tonight too, and we'll also be playing a little bit of Warcry tonight too. But yeah, that's other than that, like Shadowrun, real quick. Shout out to Jason Hardy from Catalyst Games, who was nice enough to sit and talk with us a little bit, sign my book, and he's agreed to come on and do an interview on our show as well, talking about Shadowrun 6th World, the new edition of the game, which is their 6th edition. And gorgeous books they had there. I wish I could say I'd had more time to crack mine open and look through it, but we've just been running nonstop through the con since getting back from the con. So I haven't had a chance to really dig into the rules yet, but I've looked through the artwork and everything. And they always make high quality books of Catalyst. So that's my shout out number 1. My shout out number 2 then is Paizo Games.
Yeah, we got to talk about Paizo. That was the first place we went, I think, at Gen Con when the doors opened.
First stop was Paizo.
I think your experience from Starfinder is they ran out of books that one year, so you said, hey, let's go make sure they don't run out of books. And they didn't. I think they still had books on day 3 when we walked through.
Yep.
For Pathfinder 2. And we were able on Friday night to sit down and actually create characters. Yep. Probably not ones we're going to play, but
just learn the process.
Learn the process, and it was a lot of, I'm going to say this, it was fun to build a character.
Yeah.
And I didn't roll 1 die.
Yeah.
I didn't have to roll 1 die.
Right.
And it was great. It was
still
fun.
make choices. Like you're
you
making
do.
choices
There's
the whole way.
choices all the way through. It's not really random. And just the way they get it, play it. We're going to actually start a show for a Pathfinder starting next week. And so we're going to go through character.
We don't have a name for that show yet.
No, we're going to get a name for it. We'll have another RPG show coming your way.
Yep.
Wednesday? Is that a Wednesday night?
It's going to be Wednesday
night. Wednesday night.
We'll go over our whole calendar in just a minute here, actually.
Wow, and just tentative calendar changes so much at this point. We're going to get it locked in as soon as we get it locked in.
Oh, this calendar's getting locked in.
Yeah, we hope. Because we will have some changes. But the Paizo folks were great.
Aaron at Paizo. Aaron at Paizo was great. He talked to us a bit. We're talking about setting up interviews with the Pathfinder and Starfinder, both the development teams. And we'll get to hear their thoughts of what went into it, what makes Pathfinder 2 so much better than Pathfinder 1, what they have planned for it. And I love Pathfinder. I mean...
You've always said that, but we're not going to say that right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pathfinder 2.
It's a great game.
Looks amazing. Yeah. And it looks, I mean, they pulled all the best stuff that I love from the beta test. And they all that.
Well, they have a new class. I think it's a new class. I didn't play Pathfinder 1. Alchemist is old class. But it came in a side book, though.
Yes, it is a core class now.
It's a core
and
class.
Goblins are a core race.
And a core race.
And they did interesting things, because, like I said, they don't say race, ancestry. It's an ancestry.
Yeah. No paladin either.
Yeah. Paladin's not in the book. Look for it. It's not there. But there is something called a champion that looks remarkably like the paladin of old. Like half orcs and half elves are wrapped into the human.
Yeah. And
it's an ancestry you take. So you're a human as your base ancestry, but then you choose the half elven ancestry trait, or you choose a half orc ancestry trait. And
really
it
cool.
Opens up new things. It's awesome. I had a blast making a character. I made a goblin rogue. And it was just super fun to make when we made our characters, and I was just like, "This is really cool." And like you can make it, and you can throw all kinds of little different things, and it doesn't have to be you can make the complete trope if you want, or you can break stereotype and play something really different and still be effective. So it looks like a really good addition. I'm looking forward to playing in it. I'm looking forward to playing in a game. I always run games, so
yeah, you're gonna play in the Wednesday night one.
Yep. So do you want to talk about the new schedule?
A couple other things before we get to our stuff.
Yeah.
Games Workshop, we would be amiss if we did not talk about them, because they've always got something new coming out. We did visit their booth, some super cool guys. Hopefully we got in touch with the right guy. Elliot over there, we'll say his name.
From across the pond.
And hopefully we'll get set up with them on social media here too. But they've got, and we didn't get to see this at Gen Con, but they've done a bunch of releases. I think they try to like steal thunder, maybe? They're getting really good at that.
A little bit, yeah.
New Space Marine Codex is dropping next week.
A week from this Saturday.
A week from Saturday, and with it comes 2 supplements.
Yes.
For Ultramarines and White Scars.
Yeah. Yep. So we're seeing some more kind of spin-off mini codexes. We'll see what all that entails.
I think they're calling them supplements.
Codex supplements.
Something, yeah. It looked pretty cool. Some new models in
addition. So reworking of 2 named characters into their new Primaris builds.
Is it Librarian?
You got the Khan and you got
Tigress?
Yep.
Okay.
And then they have the Primaris Lieutenant that was out of the Wake of the Dead box, I believe, is going to be released as a single clamshell blister. And then
did they have a new Reaver model? I think it was a new Reaver model.
Well, or is
it an old Reaver model?
It's the Wake the Dead Lieutenant, I believe.
Is he a Reaver?
No, he might be. I don't remember. There's so many Primaris Lieutenants.
I thought the new Reaver model was.
And then they showed sneak peeks of the new Walker that's like based on a Dreadnought chassis but has a live Marine in it, and then the new transport vehicle that's coming. So we got a lot of, and then Eliminator squads and Infiltrator squads are getting their own box sets too, and there's new builds for those. So yeah,
Codex comes with some new
Marines.
rules. Some
yes,
some
Marines
basic
are
changes.
getting bumped. It sounds
and they're
like,
getting some bumps. Yeah.
which makes sense. There's been a little bit of Codex creep, and they've kind of fallen
Sure.
behind on the power scale. So getting a new, which I like the fact they're getting a new Codex without a new edition. Like, keep this edition. I love this
That's
edition.
solid.
And then also this week, let's not neglect this week, we got 3 new warbands coming for Warcry.
Oh, I wasn't going to neglect
Okay.
Warcry. That was definitely not going to be a thing.
I am building Warcry scenery and other stuff right now. I have 2 warbands painted already, but we are preparing this Saturday. We're on a normal weekly schedule. Legacies of War this Saturday at 1 o'clock still. We're going to hopefully bring you a series of battle reports for Warcry.
On Saturday.
And so I'm working on scenery for that right now, and more models and stuff too. I feel like I need to like give up sleep so I can finish building and painting models.
That's what happens when you started a Twitch channel or channel on the internet, and then you own a game store that all you want to do is play games. It has to be painted. That's your rule.
Yeah, well, for live streaming,
you cursed yourself. Don't
for
talk
live
to
streaming
us.
it has to be painted.
So
and
we're working on all those things.
And we're building studio armies, and that is also, in fact, I'm cutting myself out of the Age of Sigmar General's journey because that army's taking too much time to paint, and I gotta focus on the studio armies right now.
So we can bring you more
battle reports,
more battle reports or war games.
But yeah, Games Workshop also unveiled the Aeronautica game that's come out with a box set with Orcs versus Imperials. They showed the new Lizardmen Blood Bowl team, and they showed the new Space Marine heroes that are Terminators that are all painted up as Blood Angels, I believe. And then they also have the new
Underworlds, and that was
Beastgrave,
super cool. Beastgrave looks like we're
which
getting
is new.
Chaos.
I'm going to say this with a question mark. Wood Elves?
Oh, they're gonna bring an army? I don't know. They look great though.
But I'm saying though, like
I
mean, they're like centaurs and satyrs.
Satyrs, not dryads.
But they also have some of the class. They're Kurnos worshippers, which is the old god of the Wood Elves. Yep. So
new army on the horizon.
Maybe new army on the horizon. And then we also have Beastmen, which they've done the Beastmen army already. Yep. We got some new Beastmen models. As always, the Underworld models are top notch. They're dynamically posed. They're just fantastic looking models always, and I'm a miniature painter first, gamer second. So I can't wait for Beastgrave just to get the new models.
That looks great, and I love that game. It's one of my favorites.
And then we saw the big posable, unpainted Space Marines. Who's putting those out? Is it Bandai?
I'm not as excited.
Bandai. And then there's little chibi models too that my wife geeked out over when she saw those, and she's like, "You guys get those."
Geek like the Funko Pops. I should geek out about it.
Funko Pop's putting out a game.
I know.
We never got to see it.
We never got to see it. Otherwise, it might have made our list.
We had a dinner appointment we had to get to, so we ended up having to miss that event.
I'd be interested to see that. I can use my Funko Pops in a game. They're not just for.
But it seems scaled to smaller Funko Pops, not the bigger ones that we normally get.
Yeah, but let's bring it to the bigger ones. No problem. Go ahead. I don't know. We'll have to check that game out when we get it.
Did Gen Con live up to your expectations?
I think so. I think we were way more productive than I thought we would be.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it was really good. Hopefully for the stream and for everything else, and we'll see if it all pans out. But
we have a lot of big things planned for the stream, guys.
Yeah.
So keep tuning in.
So I felt like it was super productive for that. So I think of everything I would say, I knew it was a lot of fun. Again, I've been to, maybe they're smaller on the West Coast, but I've been to a few of those, and it didn't disappoint in that regard. Saw a lot of cool games and met a lot of really cool people. The artist was definitely a plug, but I felt like it was super productive for us.
Good.
And for what hopefully we can bring to you guys out there. So.
I mean, one thing that Gen Con did is it caused us to redesign our website. So if you check out our homepage at chaoticnight.com.
It's still being worked on a little bit.
We have a news section in there, and you can see all the Games Workshop new releases we just talked about, and you can also see our pictures from the Parabellum booth there as well for the Conquest game. So make sure you go check that out. Tell your friends about us too. You know, it always helps. And
website still has all the social media on it, so you can check that out.
And then check out our social media. If you missed it, go to our social media, follow us on there. We have tons of pictures from Gen Con if you want to see the adventures that were going on there. I met Guar. I mean, I know
we're going to be so in trouble, though, because we thought they were cosplaying. And so Chaos jumps in and says, let's take my picture. So I took a picture, and it was really cool. And then that night, we get a call from production.
Yeah, from our marketing director.
Marketing.
And he's like, you got to meet Guar. That's awesome. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I thought it was cosplayers in the booth. It was the actual band.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty funny.
It was pretty awesome. So that was like a weird thing that happened. Is I met Guar and didn't even know it at Gen Con. But then, like I said, we got pictures with a lot of different people we met. Larry Elmore, Phil Folio. These are like some of the guys from like old school D&D and stuff too. Margaret Weiss, who is just such an amazing author, and is writing books with Robert Crames right now. And she did Dragonlance originally with Tracy Hickman. Tracy, unfortunately, wasn't at Gen Con this year. He's a pretty regular con goer. But yeah, we got a lot of photos and stuff on our social media pages. And it was, I mean, I've never been disappointed going to a Gen Con. I'll just say that. Yep. Despite the incident at the booth on Friday morning.
I was first. You
were first. Some pushy people. You know who you are. You know who you are, one guy.
One guy.
You're out there somewhere. You know who you are. All right, so we got some changes coming up. So this week, our scheduling is as normal. We got RPG Out of the Box coming up next. We have Dungeon Delvers tomorrow, Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We have Immersion RPG at 7 o'clock. And then Legacies of War at 1 o'clock on Saturday. But we are expanding the menu. We are expanding our programming.
And shifting some programs.
Yep, and moving a couple things around. So starting next week on Monday. This is really important.
Whoa, Monday? We haven't had anything on Monday. We do now.
We do now. Well, it's a familiar show, though. We are moving RPG Out of the Box to Monday evenings starting next week. And I'm told...
No, don't give it away.
Okay. I'm told
maybe
there's some fun, exciting things going through RPG Out of the Box.
Check it out tonight. You won't be
check it out tonight
disappointed.
for sure. Don't want to spoil anything for Bad X Ash's show. Anyhow, they are moving to Mondays at 7:30, and but it's the same old RPG Out of the Box that you love already. But we are moving that show to Mondays. Because Tuesdays we're still going to be doing KNN, but we're going to be allocated a full hour. Not going to have to cut short about 45 minutes what we're doing right now. But a full hour news show, and we're going to be including occasional unboxing videos and interviews. We will have live interviews with people from the game industry coming onto the show, either via phone or Google Hangouts or Skype, but we will have them on here. If we can have them with web cameras and actually have them, that'll be fantastic. But not everybody wants to use the technology to do that.
Which is totally fair.
Which is totally fair.
Yep.
And so we have some awesome people lined up to come on. And if the hours don't work out, we may have to pre-record some because some people might be in, say, Europe and have a 7-hour time difference.
I can do that. You have to be a partner. But okay. We'll have that conversation
I'm talking,
at a later
I'm talking
time.
about Wayne. He's in England, so.
I know, but we can't put it on Twitter.
Anyway. Well, I'm saying we might pre-record and have our interviews on here on screen as well.
Oh, and throw them up on the TV.
Yep.
We're going to have a TV back here.
We are going to have a TV for our show.
Our new goal.
So anyway, KNN is expanding is what I'm saying. Bringing you more news, more up to date. And then after that, instead of RPG Out of the Box on Tuesdays, we are going to be showcasing Privateer Press games. Riot Quest, Monster Apocalypse, and of course War Machine and Hordes. And we'll be doing battle reports, full-length battle reports. If we're doing games like Riot Quest, we'll probably be doing several games in a night. And those will be happening 7:30 on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, as we mentioned, you're going to be doing something.
We are going to be playing a Pathfinder game.
Second
edition. It's going to be in the second edition. It's going to be in line with Immersion RPG. I think we're going to reduce the number of people in the game.
4 players.
And kind of notch up maybe some role.
We got some new faces coming on.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited for it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna run the game.
Well,
Chaos is playing in it though. So
yeah, I get to play in it, and then Bad X Ash, who runs RPG Out of the Box, is also supposed to play in it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're gonna showcase Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and then Thursday we are keeping Immersion RPG, and that's 7 o'clock. We're gonna do it at 7 o'clock, same as Immersion, right? So we got Wednesday 7 o'clock role playing Pathfinder 2nd. Thursday 7 o'clock, Immersion RPG, my game, still going on. No change there. Thursday is staying locked in.
That's probably going to be for a long time.
Yep.
Unless he kills us, which he might.
I'll run something else.
Or we kill ourselves.
That's more likely to happen.
That'll never happen.
Friday, we're not live streaming anything yet.
Not yet.
Saturdays, Legacy of War. Doing a slight change in Legacies of War. Still on Saturdays, starting an hour earlier. We're going to start at noon Mountain Time. With Age of Sigmar. And when I say Age of Sigmar, we're going to be doing either an Age of Sigmar battle report or showcasing other games that take place in the Age of Sigmar universe, such as, we might just do smaller games. I can't remember what it's called now. Well, we could do Underworlds, we could do Warcry, And there's the new like meeting engagement style of play where it's like 1,000-point little games that go a lot faster.
Yeah.
So anyway, it'll be all Age of Sigmar world related starting at noon on Saturday. And then starting at 3:30 on Saturdays, we'll be hitting the 40K universe. So if you're looking for Age of Sigmar, anything Age of Sigmar, you can just tune in at noon. We'll provide your Age of Sigmar for you. Looking for anything 40K related, 3:30 we'll be doing that. And that could be, once again, Kill Team, Necromunda, the new racing game with all the orcs. Man, I'm so tired. Speed Freaks, thank you. Or just 40K battles. And because it's our end of day show, we can go long. Maybe Apocalypse games could be shown.
Oh, there'll be some Apocalypse. We're wanting to play that pretty bad.
Yeah, really bad. And so anyway, that is coming. And then Sunday, all the way to Sunday, because you haven't heard it, right? Because Wednesday we put a new RPG. Sunday nights, 7:30, Dungeon Delvers. The Adventures in Gloomhaven will continue. We are still doing it normally tomorrow, so Wednesday tomorrow, and then not the immediate Sunday afterwards, but the Sunday on the next week, Dungeon Delvers will continue with most of the same group.
Yeah.
So I think we're changing a player out of there. And anyway, that is what we have on our schedule. And then we're also looking to increase our presence on YouTube, and we'll have a lot more battle reports coming on YouTube that won't be live streamed, but we do have more battles coming as well for any game system. Maybe some Conquest.
Oh, there'll be that.
And anyway, that is what's coming up. That is the changes starting next week. So what does that put us at? That's August 12th is when the new schedule kicks in. And so watch out for that. And in the meantime, by all means, if you haven't done so already, follow us on Twitch TV. You can subscribe to us here as well and keep you up to date on everything going on there. We do giveaways as well. In fact, we should have another giveaway coming up here in a week or so.
We hit 250 yet? I don't think
we haven't hit 250 yet. And
keep getting followers. We'll give another giveaway.
We are doing another giveaway at 250 followers. And then on YouTube, you can find us under the same channel name. We are Chaotic Knight Network on YouTube. And you can subscribe to us there for free, watch previous shows, and we'll have exclusive YouTube content coming soon as well. And then, of course, we have our Discord channels and all of our social media platforms. We're on Twitter.
KaoticKnight.com. Check it out there. If you don't know them, they're all there.
Twitter is probably our most active platform.
Is it really?
Yeah, Twitter and Facebook. Those are the two big ones. But yeah, check out our Discord channel. Come chat with us. Love to hear from you.
Check out our Instagram, too, because I spent a lot of time at Gen Con putting some stuff up. I know Matt did, too.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, hey, I think that's everything for this week, right? Big changes next week?
Yeah. Feel like it's not enough because Gen Con still is...
Oh, man. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from it. I'm wiped. But it's great. I love coming back from the con, and just it takes about a week to recover.
But your batteries are recharged, so it's good.
Yes, gaming-wise, there's like so much gaming stuff I want to be doing right now. It's not even funny. Like I gotta like give up something to like have more time to work on gaming stuff.
The boardroom too.
The boardroom is coming. That's a YouTube exclusive.
It's gonna go to YouTube, but the boardroom is coming. We will
all board
play,
games all the time.
rate, and let you know.
Yep.
Our top 3 executives will take a look.
You want to see more photos? Like I said, go check out our website, KaoticKnight.com. Check out the news section. We have all the GW stuff there and all the Conquest stuff there. And yeah, let us know what you think.
Cool.
As always.
Give us a follow. Love you guys. See ya. Peace out.